even though Malik Neighbors hasn't been out there, it hasn't stopped Giants fans from getting all sorts of hope because Jaxson Dart has darted through the minds of everybody. He's just darting up the depth chart. We could do this all day, Caroline Fenton. Jaxson Dart
It's a darty
has
party.
looked really good. A darty party is good. Can we coin that? Is that a thing for the show? We're going to coin the darty party. Are we buying Jaxson Dart right now?
Absolutely. I'm buying Jaxson Dart right now. And I'm buying Jaxson Dart as he is progressing the way that the Giants want him to slowly come along. What I am not doing is overreacting to two preseason games and saying that now all of a sudden Jaxson Dart should be the Giants starter week 1. I am not doing that. I know some Giants fans are doing that, but I have to give Brian Daboll a whole lot of credit. Because there could have been a possibility where the narrative starts to become Jaxson Dart should be the starter. If, Brian Daboll said something to leave a little bit of wiggle room for interpretation there, but he didn't. And every single press conference and media availability that Brian Daboll has done, he has said, Russ is our starter. We're really excited about what we saw from Jaxson Dart. So there's really no room for interpretation there. I think there's a lot to be excited about with Jaxson Dart, right? His stat line against the Jets on what day was that? Saturday, 14 of 16, 137 yards and a touchdown. He took one sack, did not turn the ball over. There's a lot of reason for excitement and anticipation for what Jaxson Dart can become. I also think the Giants are doing a really good job of putting him in a system that he is comfortable with, using a lot of the same looks that he had in Lane Kiffin's offense in college. So I think they're bringing him along the right way. There's a lot of reason for optimism, but there's not a whole lot of reason for optimism with the New York Giants franchise over the last couple of years. But now I'm saying Giants fans can be excited. It's a really, new feeling, an exciting feeling probably for Giants fans. But yeah, I'm drinking the dark Kool-Aid.
So it's funny because when we first started the show, I mentioned to you at the time that I believe the Giants should start Jaxson Dart from day one because it's really the only thing that they have to hope for this year is the development of Jaxson Dart. Caroline, I think Jaxson Dart has been even better than I expected, and I think he has a real opportunity to shine in New York long term. I want to say that loudly. I also have changed my mind. I don't think he should start week 1 anymore. And it's not because he hasn't looked great. It's because Russ, who I particularly think is washed, I don't think Russ has anything left in the tank. And Russ has looked really good. Like, I don't understand if Russ was at the top of the depth chart, what else you'd need to see from Russ through this process. Jaxson Dart has looked really good, but so has Russ. And there is in my mind, there's no downside to playing Russ until you don't want to play Russ anymore. Continue to develop Jaxson. I think it's much tougher to start Jaxson Dart week 1 than bench him. And then, well, it's just not going well. We're going to let him sit and learn the Bryce Young, right? And then Russ comes in and then maybe Jackson's back. Now you have a quarterback controversy. The worst thing you ever want is a back and forth. You don't want a teeter-totter or a seesaw at the quarterback position in New York or anywhere. So because Russ has actually looked good in the preseason, like Jaxson Dart has exceeded all my expectations. And I wanted him to start week 1. But Russ has looked good enough that now I'm stepping back and saying, no, have your cake and eat it too. Do all of these things at once. Play Russ, and if it doesn't work with Russ, then you put Jaxson in. But obviously the time they're spending on task with Jaxson Dart is working, and the development of Jaxson so far is working, and Jaxson is playing really well. So if I'm a Giants fan, I'm excited because I still believe this defense has a chance to be really good. And now all of a sudden I'm saying, hey, we might actually have short-term, long-term at the quarterback position in a way we're comfortable with. That is the ultimate win-win for this organization.
And the Giants may just have a good enough defense, which I frankly very much so believe that they're going to have. They invested so much defensively that if the Giants can start to win games and put wins together, that they are winning 13-10, right? Like, I think the defense is going to be able to hold teams to 2 touchdowns, 14 points and some change. That if Russell Wilson can just do enough to let the defense win them games, who's to say that the Giants can't be a team that, what's their over-under win total? Does anybody know off the top of their heads? Probably not very high, probably 4.5, probably 5.5.
I think it was 6.5 last time I looked, but I could be wrong.
Who's to say that they can't be an 8-9 football team? Now, I'm not going to say that the Giants are now all of a sudden Super Bowl contenders because their defense is so good. Russell Wilson has looked so good in the preseason. No, I'm not saying that. But who is to say that the Giants can't win a couple of these games that they're not expected to win? And looking at their schedule is an absolute gauntlet. So maybe the Giants are going to end up being a much better team than their record indicates because they have such a difficult schedule. But still, I think, you say that what Giants fans have to look forward to, really the only thing they have to look forward to is the development of Jaxson Dart. Well, then hold on to that. Foster that. The development of Jaxson Dart is what people can be excited about. What's the point of rushing him and potentially halting or stalling his development by starting him week 1 against I don't have their schedule pulled up in front of me. Let me pull up their schedule right now, actually.
5.5, by the way. 5.5 is their win total. They've got in my ears told me 5.5 is their win total.
I mean, who's to say they can't win 6 games? I mean, I would take the over on that just based off of what we've seen. But what's the point of throwing Jaxson Dart in there at Washington and then at Dallas and then at home against Kansas City, at home against the Chargers, at New Orleans, which I understand the Saints are a bad team, but they get them on the road and the Superdome is a really difficult place to play. And then at home against the reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles, and then to Denver, and then to Philly, and then at home against San Francisco. You see my point here. It is a grind of a schedule in the beginning. What's the point of throwing Jaxson Dart out there maybe before he's fully cooked, when you can sit him on the bench? Russ can maybe win you a couple of games here and there, and the vibes can remain high in New York.
Yeah, they're
vibes
dating.
are very
They
high
don't
in New
need
York.
to get married yet. They don't need to
Yeah,
get
they're
married
dating.
yet.